Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another week. And when I say good morning, I really do mean good morning to all of the Northowram Primary School family. So, good morning, teachers, teaching assistants who are working in school and they've got all your lessons ready for you today. And good morning to teachers working at home who are getting ready to meet you on your online Teams meetings. And good morning to all mums, dads, grandparents, grandmas, granddads, and whoever's helping you to learn at home today. So a very good morning to everybody. And of course, the biggest good morning to you children, wherever you are this morning in school or at home. So first thing I need to do today is to say thank you and give a shout out to a few people. The first person is Jack in year 6. Do you remember a few weeks ago, not sure when it was, when we were making origami animals, or I was trying to learn the craft of origami. Well, that seems to have inspired quite a few of you to have a go yourselves. And one day last week, Jack was really excited and he came in and he gave me the gift of an origami dolphin. Here we are, just move my narcissus, my daffodils to the side. Here he is. It's a bottlenose dolphin. And there wasn't one of these in my origami book, Jack, so I don't know where you got this, maybe online. But I think it's absolutely superb. Brilliant. And you can see that Jack's followed the rules of origami, which means he hasn't cut. All he's done is folded to make it into the shape of a dolphin. So thanks, Jack. That's going to go in my office with my origami collection. And then somebody else, which really impressed me actually, because he's only in year 1, and this is really hard. Oscar, shout out to you, Oscar, in year 1. Oscar bought the book that I had, and he's made his first piece of origami, I think with his dad. He came in with his daddy anyway, and he's made the barn owl's face. Look, there it is with the ears and the little beak there in his eyes. And I said to Oscar, goodness me, you must have worked really hard on that, because I know, because I've done it, it's really hard. So keep going with it, Oscar. It's really good to do it maybe with mum or dad and see what else you can make. And thank you for giving me that. That's really lovely. What a lovely gift. And that's going to go in my office too. So I know that lots of you were looking forward to the weekend because you were taking part in the Big Garden Bird Watch. So did you do it? We did. And I'll share with you what we found, but I really wish you were all in school at the moment because I'd love to know what you saw. And first thing is, wasn't it hard to sit still for an hour and just watch? Wasn't it hard, but also wasn't it rather wonderful to sit and observe and quieten the mind and just watch nature as it happened? I found it quite difficult to sit still because I'm used to being busy all the time. But I did. Me and Elise really stuck at it, and we did. And actually, I felt really relaxed afterwards. So there's a thought. Sometimes sitting still and watching is really good for us. Okay, so we printed off the Big Garden Bird Watch sheet, tally chart. We don't have a colour printer, so it had to be black and white. I might put some coloured pencil on these later on. But luckily, I also had my trusty almanac with the colours of the birds on there, so I could reference those. And I learned so much in an hour about the birds in our gardens and their habits, that it was a really worthwhile thing to do. So I'll tell you what we saw. Okay, some were a bit surprising, others were a bit naughty, to be honest. Okay, so things I have learned. First of all, we've got quite a naughty starling family. That's the black and white picture of the starling, just there. And I'll see if I can find the colour one. Yeah, there. They look really dark, the starlings, but actually they've got lots of flecks of silver in their wings. They're quite pretty, actually. And so we saw in our hour 5 starlings, and they're quite big birds, and they came onto the bird feeders as a family and squabbled about and ate lots and lots of the fat balls and then went. So we saw a family of 5 starlings. We saw 2 magpies. We tallied them there. 2 magpies who, to be quite honest, are really annoyed with our bird feeders because they can't get in them. But they keep hopping into the branches just to have a look. I'm sure they're hatching a plan of how maybe they can take the whole thing away with them. But so far, they haven't come up with anything. We saw 2 wood pigeons. We love wood pigeons. We have a wood pigeon that you know. We call him Phil. because he's always around, and he makes that lovely sound that you heard on the video the other week, that hoo 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 sound, which is a noise I really like. We saw one coal tit. Now, I wouldn't have known that we had coal tits. There he is in our garden. But there you go. I spotted his black cap. I wonder if he's on here. There he is, right in the middle there. So he hasn't got massively bright colours, but he's very sweet in shades of grey. So, yeah, we saw a coal tit. We saw one blue tit. There's the blue tit. And he's quite easy to spot because he's got a blue cap. Where is he on here? Right at the top of the branches, look. There he is. He's got a blue cap. Not to be confused with his friend over here, the great tit, because the great tit's also got a yellow chest. Can you see? They've both got yellow chests. But the blue tit has a blue cap and the great tit has a black cap. And here's something I learned. I don't think I've really seen a great tit in our garden before. And for me, I thought they were bigger birds, but they're not. They're really teeny little fellas, the great tits. And we saw a pair. And whenever you see a pair of a bird, that's really good news, isn't it? Because then we hope that they will nest and that there'll be baby great tits. So yeah, we saw a pair of great tits. And what else did we see? Oh, here's something that I've learned. I've learned that a bird that I've been calling a sparrow is not a sparrow at all. And it's a little brownish bird, quite a delicate little bird called a dunnock. We saw one or two of those yesterday, and the dunnocks like to come onto the grass underneath the bird feeders and take all the bits of seed that the other birds have left. So yes, a dunnock, a kind of a brownie bird. Had to Google him because I thought it was a sparrow. So apologies, dunnocks. I've been calling you sparrows all this time, and that's not what you are. And then we also saw a robin, and this was really special because apparently when I've Googled it, it's really unusual to see robins at bird feeders. They usually come onto the ground as well. And our robin yesterday was hovering and flapping his wings like mad. I don't know why he couldn't just hang on to the bird feeder. He didn't seem to want to do that. Hovering and pecking little bits of seed. So we saw one robin. Was that everything? Oh yes, and then we saw another pair which I was excited about. We saw two blackbirds, and you can recognise, have I told you this? I might have done. You can recognise the male and female blackbirds because the male blackbird is black, very black, and he has a yellow beak, and he also has a little yellow outline around his eyes, very beautiful. And Mrs. Blackbird, the female blackbird, isn't black, she's brown. She's the same size as the male, but she's all brown and she doesn't have any yellow. She has like a brownie coloured beak. So again, fingers crossed that Mr. and Mrs. Blackbird will go on to nest in the spring and create some eggs, some baby blackbirds. Yes, so we will go online later on today and put in our results because the RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, need to know these figures because it helps them keep track of which bird species are doing really well and if there's any that they need to be worried about. Okay, I've got a job for you today. It is about birds and nature, which we like to do on a Monday. So do you remember last week that Mrs. Jennings had texted me really excitedly to say that she'd had Mr. and Mrs. Fox in her garden? And do remember, Mrs. Jennings only lives about 3 minutes away from school. So anything that she sees in her garden is likely to be round and about school as well. Well, yesterday, she texted me with two other amazing things that she'd seen in her garden. The first one is a bird I want you to look up because I'd never really heard of this and I've certainly never seen one. She saw a pair, so a male and a female hawfinch. H-A-W and then the word finch. So if you're in class, just ask your teacher to have a quick Google and show you what a hawfinch looks like. It's not even on my sheet, so I think it might be quite rare. So she had a pair of hawfinches, and then last night, you won't believe this, it's like spotted in Northowram. Maybe we should have a new slot called What Have You Seen in Northowram this week? She texted me to say she'd had a badger. A badger, a black and white striped badger, which is a mammal, isn't it? Have I got a picture in here of a badger? Oh, there we go. So it seems like, Mrs. Jennings, you've had all of this in your garden. Maybe not a red squirrel, but you've definitely had a badger who came to visit. So all of those animals, all of that wonderful wildlife is round and about where you live, which is rather marvellous. So if you did do the garden bird watch, put it on Twitter, maybe spotted in Northowram, 2 chaffinches or whatever it was that you saw. We also saw a couple of crows as well, but they're not on the sheet either, and they're a bit flummoxed by our bird feeders as well. Okay, so that's Monday's assembly over. Time for learning. Time to get into those Teams lessons if you're at home. Time to get your heads down, get on with your maths if you are at school. And tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the new month. We're going to turn over the calendar and think about what's special about the month of February, because it's Monday, February the 1st. So tomorrow's assembly, all about the new month. Have a really great day, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.